to establish Labour College. Ministry of Health to provide medical emergency service to respond to emergency calls. Federal government to reduce the number of ministries in the country. Details of these and more in a moment. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. The state government has promised to support the Nigerian Labour Congress to establish Labour College in the state. The promise was made by the state governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, during the opening ceremony of this year's Rain School. Patience John reported the state governor was represented by his deputy, Mr. Moses Epo.
The 13th edition of the Rain School, which is holding at the Workers' Solidarity Center, Tanafort Uyo, drew government dignitaries, international labor organizations, and labor veterans from the 36 states of the Federation. Welcoming the participants, Governor Udom Emmanuel thanked them for choosing the state for the week-long training and promised to support their dream of starting a labor college in the state. Governor Udom Emmanuel was represented by his deputy, Mr. Moses Epo, described labor union as a force in entrenching and sharpening democracy, and applauded the yearly training of labor leaders, whom he said will help provide effective leadership in governance.
This 2015 NLC Rain School, holding in this blessed state, gives us hope that our country is on the path of progress and advancement when considering the role of Labour Congress in the advancement of democracy in our country. And sustaining of democracy in our country demands the concerted effort of the stakeholders in Nigerian projects, including the Labour Congress and workers.
The president of Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba, thanked the state government for building and donating the Rain School complex to NLC. Comrade Waba said with the Rain School, labor leaders will be trained on leadership and governance, while employers will have the benefit of working with enlightened employees.
We must continue to educate our mind. We must also continue to exercise our body, because the challenges ahead need both action physically and also intellectual capacity that we need to engage issues that will emerge. And therefore, these state level schools and also the Hamatan and Rain School will continue to receive the support of the leadership, current leadership of NLC.
Workers in the state, through the state NLC chairman, Comrade Etemukbong, commended the state government for striving to industrialize the state by putting up plans to resuscitate Peacock Plains, Etinan, and actualizing the Baka Deep Sea Port project, while pledging the support of NLC to the state government to enable it to achieve its objectives.
The recent labor-related events in the state, which for experience will not be mentioned here, underscore the important role the training of cadres and the other ranks and part played in the success of the labor movement.
The opening ceremonies of this year's Rain School, which has the theme, The Labor Movement and the Politics of Change in Nigeria, was preceded by a courtesy visit on the Deputy Governor. Patience John, reporting.
Medical emergency services will soon be made available for the people of the state to call during emergencies as a means to save lives. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Okpong, announced this during a courtesy colony by the Association of Resident Doctors, University of U Teaching Hospital. The story presented.
Okpong said training and retraining of medical personnel in Akwa Ibom State is to be accorded priority to help uphold the tenets of the best medical practices. He said for set goals and targets to be achieved, health workers should change their attitude to work, imbibe the spirit of sacrifice, remain committed to their responsibility, and be ready to key into the development initiative of the present administration in the health sector. Describing doctors as social workers and key players in the healthcare system, the Health Commissioner advised doctors against carelessness and self-centered spirit, saying that medical workers should see their work as life-saving. Dr. Ogbong noted that in a bid to sanitize the system, measures have been put in place to address the issue of quackery in the field and ensure that the healthcare system is operated in a dignified standard manner.
I will try very much to rectify some of the things that you have mentioned. Lots of the things that mentioned have had to do with structures. Structures, I'm talking about infrastructures. That's not what essentially makes a health service. A health service are the health workers. So my priority is the people who run the health. They sitting here, and you people, the doctors, the nurses, the pharmacists. I know that if you're motivated, that you have work, job satisfaction, you are properly remunerated, you are rewarded for great achievements and initiatives, and so forth, that you would like to work yourself together. If you do that, even if they place you on an open field, you deliver service. So long as you provide you some of the things you need. There are places people don't have anything to work with, they try.
In his address, the President, Association of Resident Doctors, University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ekerekot, promised to work closely with the Ministry of Health to strengthen primary health care delivery in the state, and commended the state government for the interest in the overall health care needs of the citizenry. Dr. Ekerekot decried the spate of quackery in the state and appealed to the ministry to step up efforts in eliminating it, and call for support to doctors in the state to boost service delivery.
We are very much aware of the efforts of the ministry in recent times in improving the healthcare, especially at the primary healthcare level, in terms of free drugs and equipping the primary healthcare centers. But we, the resident doctors, are very willing to partner with the ministry in improving this healthcare delivery system, especially at the primary healthcare level, because the teaching hospital has turned out to be the major source of healthcare delivery, and we intend to partner with the Ministry of Health in whatever way we can to be able to go down to those grassroots levels and deliver healthcare.
The Commissioner for Rural Development, Barrister Ekong Samson, has said that the 5-point agenda of Governor Dom Emmanuel administration will drive an industrialization in the state and make life more meaningful for the rural dwellers. He said these will be done through provision of electricity, potable water, rural road maintenance, and rural security, as well as poverty alleviation. Barrister Samson stated this in a meeting with the community development officers of the ministry. The charge of the community development officers to be diligent and committed to their duties in order to achieve the set objectives of the ministry. The Commissioner decried theft and vandalism of government property and enjoined the community development officers to always report to the ministry the status of government projects in their stations. Barrister Samson called for synergy between the community development officers and other directorates in the ministry for the discharge of their duties. The Commissioner said the ministry will continue its ongoing inspection of rural infrastructure throughout the state. The Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Aradokpo, in her remarks, applauded the Commissioner for his commitment in attracting government presence to rural areas and expressed optimism that the ministry will live up to its expectations. Wives have been urged to always support their husbands by fervently praying for them. They have also been advised to play their role as peacemakers in the society. The State Chief Judge, Justice Stephen Okun, made the call during a practical visit on him by Judges' Wives Association. Ayano Paul reports.
Justice Stephen Okun harped on the need for women to intercede for their husbands and children, saying that through their meditations, some mishaps that could have befallen their families can be averted. While appreciating the judges' wives for the visit, Justice Okon enjoined them to extend their prayers to Governor Udom Emmanuel, the entire state, and for peace in the nation. The state chief judge promised to look into an earlier appeal made by the group, but advised them to be united and law-abiding.
Our own wives are very crucial to our peak performance, because when the home front is not stable and congenial, we cannot perform well. It is not peculiar to our own force. We need stability at the home front. That is why we have to pray, particularly for our children, so we can afford to be parents with our families. We must cover our families with prayer, we must pray for our spouses.
Earlier, the president of the group, Pastor Veronica Okon, said their visit was to congratulate the chief judge for his meritorious and well-deserved appointment, and appreciated Governor Udom Emmanuel for the confidence reposed on Justice Okon. Mrs. Okon said the group was formed to encourage the husbands whose civic responsibilities are challenging through praise and pieces of advice. The judge's wife's president said the group is made up of 38 members, comprising wives of retired judges, incumbent, those in Supreme, High Court, among others. She appealed for the provision of mobility, multi-purpose hall, monthly subvention and allowances, as well as support for the group's project.
We heartily join all well-meaning Nigerians to congratulate His Lordship and his amiable wife on their appointment as the Chief Judge of Bible State and number 3 citizen of the state. We wish to ensure His Lordship and all judges of the state that we are mindful of our obligations to maintain due decorum and avoid actions or inactions that could amount to breach of our husband's code of conduct. My Lord, our driving force is indeed to support our husbands with prayers and presence of God in existence of their God-assigned duties.
The group presented gifts to the state chief judge in appreciation of his contributions to justice delivery. Yagino Paul reporting.
This is AKBC 45 News. More news after the break.
We are a threatened generation, stalked in the consciousness of militarization. Failure to debrief our citizens leads to impunity on the part of leadership. The greatest office is neither that of the executive nor the legislature, but the citizens. Democracy returns power to the people. State of the nation, updating your political consciousness for political relevance and proper integration.
Graduating students and pupils of 14 schools will have been advised to make diligence and hard work their watchword as they progress in life. The founding chairman of the school, Senator Aloysius Etu, gave the advice during the 11th graduation ceremony of the school. Olubayo Akindele has the details.
The chairman of the occasion, Mr. Idore Daniel, advised the graduating students to imbibe the qualities of discipline and hard work in order to succeed in life.
I want to let you know that hard work and excellence is the way to success. And as you are going out there, I want you to represent the school. I want you to be very serious. Whatever you've been taught here, I want you to take it very serious.
The founding chairman of the school, Senator Aloysius Etu, represented by his wife, Mrs. Comfort Etu, said, Fortune Schools has made tremendous progress in our vision of academic excellence and promotion. She reminded the graduates that the school and their parents have laid solid foundation for the education, moral values and discipline for them.
Even the sky will not be your limit. Never be deterred by any challenge. One day you will dine with kings and also soar like an eagle because of your diligence.
Delivering a valedictory lecture, the Director of Pre-Degree Studies, University of Uyo, Professor Ine Uko, challenged the students to always aim for success through hard work.
I implore you to let godly conduct be in you, and let humility and good sense be your guide. Let hard work be your pride, and let excellence drive your character. In everything, be deep in meaning in each word you utter and each action that you take.
The principal of the school, Elder Machi Hodo, who congratulated the graduating pupils and students on the joyous occasion, said the school has equipped them to face the challenges of life, urging them to be good ambassadors of the school. The graduating pupils and students were later presented with souvenirs. Evans Ubung Abaze Sunday emerged as the best graduating pupil in grade 5, while Faith Emmanuel Sunday was the overall best graduating student in the high school, just as her parents Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel Sunday emerged as the parents of the year. Faith Emmanuel Sunday and Evans Ubung Abaze Sunday spoke with AKBC 45 News.
I feel very much happy that my dream came true in this sporting school. I thank God for making me to see this day.
I feel very happy being exalted position. It's just nothing. Just need hard work and commitment. You get wherever you want. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Because all the things we are seeing is not from us. It is the making of God. So we give God all the glory for what He has done.
High points of the event included drama presentations and comedy, cutting of anniversary cake, an oath of alumni and change of dating conducted by Barrister Hodo Udoma Odofia. Ulubayo Akindele reporting.
Lions Club International, District 404E2, Nigeria, has donated 500 biology textbooks to 4 secondary schools in the state. The group has also donated 1,000 exercise books to 4 primary schools in the state. The donation was to rekindle reading culture among students, encourage science education, and support rural in their educational pursuits. The donation was also part of first quarter project of District 404E2 Nigeria of the Lions Clubs International. Making the donation during his official presentation, the district governor, Elder Nsekefre, emphasized that the district will devote much of its humanitarian project to the rural areas in the state to impact positively on the lives of the poor. Elder Kefre encouraged Lions to expand services to children by supporting them in hospitals and responding to their needs in refugee camps, as well as expanding the reading action programs in schools. The new district governor, whose duties cover 13 states in the country, including the FCT, assured the public and the Lions of his readiness to work towards realizing his theme, which is impacting service in the 2015-2016 service. The step by the rot and thriving corruption in the civil service, which has cost the country trillions of naira, President Muhammad Buhari has taken his anti-graft war to the sector. He has ordered that all outstanding audit queries which had piled up over the years be resolved within the next 30 days. Confirming the presidential directive, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garuba Shehu, said the on-site audit queries sounded unsavory to the President, who on hearing it expressed his displeasure. An audit query is a request for an explanation by the Auditor General of the Federation over improprieties discovered in the Accountant General of the Federation's report. Over time, an avalanche of these queries have not been answered, a development that has created a huge for graft through unaccounted expenditures, misappropriation and miscalculation of funds running into trillions of naira. After many speculations, President Muhammad Buhari has confirmed his administration's plan to reduce the ministry in the country. Again, the Nigerian military has rescued 178 people during a military operation against Boko Haram insurgency in Borno State. President Barack Obama of the United States has announced his new plans for America's Clean Power Plan. These and more in Channel 45's National and Foreign News segment with Mercy Akare.
President Muhammad Buhari has confirmed plans by his administration to reduce the number of ministries in the country. The president made the confirmation during his meeting with members of the Nigerian community in Benin Republic when he was in the country for an official visit. The Nigerian military has rescued 178 people abducted by the Boko Haram insurgents. The 178 persons, made up of 101 children, 67 women, and 10 men, were rescued during a military operation targeting the arrest of a high-ranking Boko Haram commander near the town of Bama in northeastern Borno State. According to the army, numerous Boko Haram camps were uncovered and destroyed during the operation. Meanwhile, Senate President Bukola Saraki was in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, to assess the situations at the internally displaced persons camps in the state. Dr. Saraki has also been briefed during the visits by the men of the Nigerian military who were at the forefront of the anti-terror fight in Borno. In a move to strengthen the naira, deposit money banks in the country have continued to reject cash deposits of foreign currencies into their customers' domiciliary accounts. Reports from the Nigeria's Business Beat showed that the naira had appreciated against the dollar from 245 naira to 220 naira at the parallel markets last week due to the continuous rejection of deposits of foreign currencies. However, the rejection of foreign currency deposits does not affect electronic transfer of funds into or from the domiciliary accounts. Nigerians traveling to Qatar have been advised to get valid certificates of vaccination against polio from their country as a precautionary measure which took effect from June 29, 2015. Over the weekend, many Qatar-bound passengers were returned back to their respective countries for not possessing valid proof of having been vaccinated against the virus. Recently, the World Health Organization declared the resurgence of polio in 10 countries, with Pakistan, Afghanistan, Cameroon, and Syria as countries posing the greatest risk. The Department of State Services, Nigeria, advised Nigerians traveling to Qatar to obtain a yellow book on polio and other communicable diseases to avoid embarrassment at the port of entry. President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama, has announced new plans in tackling climate change in America. The revised plan aims at cutting down carbon emissions from the power sector by 32% by 2030 and also encourages an aggressive shift away from coal-fired electricity towards an emphasis on wind and solar power as well as other renewable energy sources. President Obama's announcement comes just months before a new global climate change deal is to be agreed in Paris.
Plants are the single biggest source of the harmful carbon pollution that contributes to climate change. But until now, there have been no federal limits to the amount of that pollution those plants can dump into the air. If you believe, like I do, that we can't condemn our kids and grandkids to a planet that's beyond fixing, then I'm asking you to share this message with your friends and family.
With the U.S. gearing up for next year's presidential election, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has said she would defend the plan if she was elected to replace Mr. Obama. Meanwhile, the Republicans are against the president's America's Clean as they say it is irresponsible and overreaching. Journalists in Mexico and their supporters have held a rally in over the murder of Ruben Espinosa, who had before death claimed he felt threatened by the governor, Javier Duarte. The journalists decried the murder of over 100 colleagues and have named the city of Veracruz as where most of the cases are. According to them, death threats were often received for telling the truth in some cases. The late 31-year-old Ruben Espinosa had specialized in documenting locals and social movements in Veracruz, and many of his reports were said to be critical of the governor.
And now, in the news, the main points again. The Ministry of Health is to establish medical emergency services to respond to emergency calls. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Okpon, announces when he received the Association of Resident Doctors, University of U Teaching Hospital. We also brought that the federal government is to reduce the number of ministries in the country. That's it on the news. Thanks for watching. Our next news bulletin is at noon. I'm Jeffrey Oro.